Today on Seeing This.
What is your number 10 movie out of AFI Film Fest?
All right, so number 10. Bear with me here if I'm looking down a little bit because I do have some notes that I, went in there like a professional.
And we got some instant reactions from you as well that you
Yes.
can find on our TikTok and Instagram.
Go
See
check
this
them
pod,
out.
Check it out.
Full
Yeah, go
reviews
ahead, sorry.
coming.
All right,
So,
you said it on the pod. That means
yeah, I'm
that
holding,
means holding you to it.
hold me to it. I got full
right.
reviews. What is it? 400 to 600 words. I think
Yeah, that'll do.
I think I'm aiming for like 350.
Oh.
So
An Adrian Quickie. Roslyn knows about those.
easy.
Easy. Welcome to Seeing This. I am the movie mama, Mike Ornelas, and I think Fred Durst said it best. It's all about the he said, she said bullshit. Joining me on the pod today is the Gerber baby-faced assassin, Adrian Cedeno.
I mean, privilege doesn't equal credibility, right?
And today we are discussing all kinds of movies, what we've seen this week, including a brief discussion around After the Hunt, as well as a recap on Adrian's experience at the AFI Fest and ranking his top 10 movies from the festival. Before we get into all that, how are we doing, Adrian?
Good. Happy to be back. Seems like it's been a while.
It has been. It has been. Erica's not joining us today, but she will be back on next week's episode where we'll be talking Frankenstein. So make sure to join us for that one as well. But to dive into this episode, we'll talk about what we've seen this week. Adrian, why don't you kick us off? Because I think your viewing this past week or two has been quite exciting.
Oh, let's go, baby. Back-to-back champions. Dodgers made it happen. We had to get a little lucky, but that's what good teams do. That's what the best teams do. That sometimes they got to just be lucky, and that's what they did.
A little lucky. You had to get a little lucky on every game there. I mean,
I honestly felt like the Blue Jays were the better team, and yeah, just luck swang our way, and I'm
That's
grateful
tough.
for it.
Yeah. Tough for the Toronto Blue Jay fans. I was rooting for Toronto, having lived there and know some folks there. I think it would have meant more to the community and to the country. But, LA Dodgers.
I mean, I was there. I witnessed it. I got to go to
yeah,
the 18-inning game. What was it, game 3? Game 4?
the six hours,
Yeah,
6.5 hours,
that
right?
game was crazy. But I can tell you, they were ultra sensitive. The Toronto fans. I'm not the easiest fan to enjoy a game with.
Be around.
But I was mild. I wasn't dropping F-bombs. I wasn't cursing at anybody. All I did was boo, and they were honestly like crying and like upset and like, you guys are so classy, blah blah blah. Like, man, they couldn't handle it at all.
Adrian, I think it's a reflection of that Canadian friendliness and welcomingness. Is that a word? Welcomingness?
Yeah.
Versus LA Dodger fans. If you've been to a Dodger game, I mean, listen, I've been there. I've sat out in the bleachers and talked shit to the outfield of the opposing team.
Right.
Like, it's fun. It's part of the culture. But once you get outside of that bubble, you see, there's other ways.
Like I said, all I said was boo, and they were crying.
Yeah, you sent me some videos, Adrian. You're saying more than boo, so I don't know.
I was not.
I don't know. Let's show the clip. Yeah. Well, congratulations to the LA Dodgers. If anything, what an incredible series. I mean, honestly, I think this is the best World Series I remember.
It was.
Ever seen.
Extra innings. You had complete games pitched. You had all the stars coming out and hitting home runs. It was an all around good series and good for baseball.
Defensive plays across the board for both teams. Clutch moments for both teams, but Dodgers
plays that people don't normally see. That ground rule double where the ball gets stuck, like heads up play. But I get it. Most fans don't even know that that's a rule.
Well, as Dave Roberts said, the Dodgers have ruined baseball yet again. So
Let's keep ruining it, baby.
let's see how next year goes.
Repeat.
And you were at the parade. How was
And
that?
I was at the parade. It was insane. They made some major changes and spacing, and so it was a huge hazard. If I've learned anything of safety and safe egress, and they barricaded a lot of people in, and if there was an incident, they would have had nowhere to go. All these
so these were adjustments, like, not for the better.
No, not at all. Not in my
Interesting.
opinion. The last year, we were able to occupy the street. They kind of made their own lane with barricades in the middle of the street. This time, they barricaded the entire street, so everybody was left to the sidewalk, and then the businesses barricaded their entrances. So like you couldn't even be on their steps. You're on what's a sidewalk? 3 feet? And you're trying to cram twice as many people, think about 4 or 5 million people trying to cram on one sidewalk where people can't even walk, up and down the sidewalk because they're in between barricades. It was crazy.
Yeah, definitely sounds dangerous.
It was a fun time. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'm glad nothing happened, because if there was an emergency, a lot of people would be stuck and getting trampled.
And just to fact check you, between 100,000 people were there, not 2 to 5 million.
That's fine.
But it probably felt like that.
Yeah, how many people are in in LA? It's some millions, right? Right.
Sure.
Felt like everybody was there.
Well, I saw a few things here recently. First, last night, 2 nights, Wednesday. Wednesday, I went to go see The Secret Agent. That's a film out of Brazil by director Kleber Mendonça Filho. And has one of my favorite Brazilian actors, Wagner Moura. You probably know him from Narcos. He played Pablo Escobar, but he's one of the bigger stars out of Brazil. This movie takes us back to 1977 and has a level of paranoia as far as people being persecuted and how they kind of navigate that through phone calls and community. The performances were all great, but the story structure of it all felt very fragmented. If you don't know the history of Brazil, the players and the story, it can feel very disconnected. Like, I had trouble kind of following the story in a cohesive way. And there are moments that are a bit slow as well. I do want to watch it again. I think maybe on a second viewing and try to really lock in even more so than being in the theater. Maybe I'll have a different experience. But this is one that has a lot of, momentum for the international Best Picture. So it's going to be the movie that's nominated out of Brazil. We'll see once nominations come around if it makes the cut. I also watched Predator: Badlands. I did an instant reaction on this one, and let me tell you, pretty much what I said was, this is a movie that is like a newer Star Wars with a Predator skin set in Kong Skull Island, right? Which, on the premise, on the surface, isn't the worst thing, but it's a Predator movie. You know what I mean? Like, the Predator is the apex hunter.
Is this essentially a Disney movie?
Well, that's a wonderful point. It is a 20th century studio movie. This is a PG-13 movie, and I think it is the most family-friendly Predator movie of all of them, which, a lot of people on TikTok were coming at me about, like, oh, you don't like change. Heaven forbid someone have a vision and blah, 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 right? I'm all for that. I'm 100% all for that. Predator Killers we covered on this podcast, and that was different. Like, we did see,
but it was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
And we saw like the culture and the lore of the Gupja, which is what the species is. But this was like, he discovers a friend and there's a cute little creature and they go on an adventure together and he learns how to have empathy. And it's like, That's great, but not for Predator.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, you got to
You're
keep it
destroying
thematic.
the original vision, and that's why the difference is a problem for people.
It's just we've had enough movies with that skeleton. You know what I mean? Like we've had that. Like I said, I mentioned Star Wars because it's like, there's C-3PO on the back of Chewbacca. Like that's literally what happens throughout Predator. But I mean, with that also being said, I wrote a longer review on it as well. You can see that at seethispod.com. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's just because it's Predator and I enjoy the original Predator and I enjoyed Prey. This one just felt a little too fluffy for me. But people are gonna love it. People do love it. So I'm happy for them.
It's
I'm happy for
PG-13.
them. Yeah, it's PG-13, so you know what you're getting. The CGI, they have to do a lot of CGI work with the Predator's face because he's talking a lot, and that kind of took me out of it. Versus like very practical effects of how awesome the Predator looks in the other movies. But nonetheless, Predator Badlands in theaters now. Check it out. And we both watched, as I mentioned, and as our opening intro was, After the Hunt. This came out a few weeks ago now. We haven't had a chance to talk about it, but me and Adrian got to see it, and we wanted to have the opportunity to talk about so it's hard to say his name. I've been practicing too. Guadagnino. Luca Guadagnino's 2025 film starring Julia Roberts, Ayo Edebiri, and Andrew Garfield. We're not going to do a whole deep dive like we do for dedicated episodes because we have to get to AFI Fest and recap. But Adrian, overall, what do you think of After the Hunt?
I enjoyed it. It was an interesting watch. It is heavy in the sense that what it's dealing with and the notion of the back and forth, like you said, he said, she said bullshit. It definitely revolves around that and truth, lies, and what's believed.
Mm-hmm.
Whether just because you're rich and privileged, you're a good person, or if you're just a liar and a thief and crook. Um, so it was really good. Um, just heavy in that sense. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm an action buff, a comedy guy, so this kind of hit a little differently. It reminded me most of a book I read as a teenager, young man. Um, it's called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, but it's a lot of like theology, philosophy, like what is quality, the definition of quality based off of the English language and philosophy and stuff like that, to where people are kind of battling their own intuition, their own natural emotions, and trying to be philosophical or theological.
Yeah. So ultimately it takes place at an Ivy League school. I don't remember if it's
I
Yale.
think it's Yale.
It's Yale, right?
Mm,
And ultimately it's surrounded around the philosophy department, which I don't think is a accident, considering this raises a lot of questions for the audience to kind of think of, like, what is appropriate, what's not appropriate, who do you believe. If an accusation makes a sound in the forest but no one's there to see it, does it make a sound? Kind of thing,
mhm.
and I think the performances across the board were great. Julia Roberts, still fucking, she's got it, you know what I mean. Ao is great. I think she does a great job of kind of walking the line of, is she telling the truth, does she have a different agenda? And as an audience, and kind of Julia Roberts is the surrogate viewer of kind of like, well, who's my loyalty to? This professor that's being accused, played by Andrew Garfield, the student who's kind of her younger surrogate as far as like up and comer in the class, or teach. I think she's actually her aide. And I think I found it incredibly engaging. Like it wasn't boring to me.
No.
Like I was engaged the whole time. You know what I mean? Like it was definitely had my attention, even though it's a movie full of talking.
And like little
It's a lot.
details were, because it is just things of people talking, you're looking at the little details, just to try to pick up any clues or any type of
Right.
answers to the questions you're having already inside you, you know? Like, what is this character doing? Why is she doing this? Um, it's definitely engaging. I was engaged
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah. It's so interesting because when it first came out, a lot of people and critics or whatnot were very harsh on this movie, you know, and it's like, heaven forbid we have a educated conversation around a topic of, you know, kind of the Me Too movement and the validity of different people, and everyone's situation is different. And we're examining this one situation. And I think the movie was fascinating. I've got to give a shout out though to Michael Stolberg, who plays Julia Roberts' husband. He was
Dude.
great. Like,
He was probably the only good dude in the entire movie.
right,
Like, actual
right,
good
right.
person. Like, he just has no ulterior motives, no bad intentions, just loves her and wants to take care of her and, you know, be a good person flat out.
And I think that's you remind me of kind of their dynamic, you know. I also appreciate how they examined their married relationship. They've been together a long time, and, you know, without giving anything away, what kind of relationships do exist that are like that aren't standard, that aren't the white picket fence, that aren't, you know, straightforward. So I
Traditional.
really appreciate traditional. Thank you. That's the word. Um, and he also brought comic relief. Like, he was fucking like that. There's a scene, again, it's not giving anything
When he's
away, but there's
upset.
like when he's upset, and then also the dinner scene when he's like popping in and out,
Yeah, bumping the
kind of
music,
like,
he's all mad and just like turn the
yeah,
what is like punk rock like way up and
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's like a don't mind me, but I'm definitely here to stir the pot. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
But after the hunt, I enjoyed it. I would say, you know, people should check it out. Like, if we were doing the Commodus, I'd give it a thumbs up. Yep, thumbs up for
Can
Adrian.
we do a
And
quick spoiler alert? Because I have a question. I want to know what you
okay,
think. I have a question for
okay,
you.
fair enough. Spoiler alert for After the Hunt. If you haven't seen it yet, skip ahead maybe a couple minutes, because we're gonna spoil parts of After the Hunt.
Spoiler alert.
What do you got?
Did he do it?
It's the big question. Did he
Did
do
he
it or
do it?
not? Right.
Yeah.
So the movie ends with a bit of a epilogue, as far as, you know, so Julia Roberts' character and AO have a falling out, but they end up coming back to meet at this diner. And I think that scene implies that she made it up, right? Like, I think that part of the scene implies that she did have ulterior motives. She was trying to get revenge on him. Because what, I forgot what happened. Was it that he like,
He
oh,
like walked
oh,
her home,
no, but he claimed that she cheated on, like,
plagiarized
plagiarized
her report
her
or her
thesis or
yeah.
something. Yeah, I don't recall what it was. And because of that, she then brought up this allegation against him. It's tough though, right? Because there's also the scene where Andrew Garfield's character, like, you know, again, spoiler alert, he has a history with Julia Roberts, and they've got a bit of a romantic thing. And there's a scene where, like, they're
He
getting
gets
hot and
aggressive
heavy,
with her,
and she tells him to stop, and he's like
keeps going.
very aggressive, right? So it implies that. I think we're left to have that question and meditate on it. You know what I mean?
So I think that's a part of why it got to me, because there was no closure. You don't know.
Mm. You
You,
didn't like that.
I didn't like that. I felt like
Um,
I wanted the closure, but I felt like it was necessary to not have closure for everybody because I think that is the essence of what the Me Too movement and stuff like that was, because it is allegations. It's he said, she said. You really don't know unless there's actual physical evidence that's provided.
mhm.
Now, in this instance, she asks her, well, did you go get tested? Did you go get, to the file a report and have all that? And she's like, no, I filed the report, but I didn't want anybody. I was nervous and this and that. So it's like, who do
But
you
that could
believe?
also be a valid
Sure,
route someone takes that's been in that
because
situation, you
I'm
know?
sure several have gone through that route. Like,
Right.
how many that was a part of that's why the Me Too movement started, was it was for the ones that didn't have a voice, that were scared to speak up, to now have that chance to,
Mhm.
"Hey, this happened to me."
Mhm.
Um, and I
Mhm.
think this movie did a really good job of touching on the notion that, yes, there are several people that rightfully so were affected by this and actually had an incident, but it's
Yeah.
ruined by those that try to take advantage of it by lying or,
Mhm.
you know,
But I think I think for that exact reason, at least for the purpose of this movie, the reason why it is left kind of
open
open is because
is
both sides can be true.
right.
Not I mean not in a single incident per se, but like as far as the larger
Right. It's not
scope
always the
of
guy
what
that's
this movie
wrong.
is
It's not
about.
always the accuser that's the victim. You know what I mean?
It can be there's men that experience this, you know, that are raped or assaulted or whatever, you know, it goes a lot of different ways. And I think because there's not a universal umbrella truth that you can place, every incident is specific, that this movie leaves it open-ended to the viewer's interpretation.
For a
You
reason.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which again isn't going to work for everyone, which might be like a cop out because people want that,
Like,
you
tell
know,
me,
like you
like,
said,
I want the closure.
evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I appreciate something that kind of keeps you thinking for a while. I mean, again, we saw this maybe at this rate 3 weeks ago, a month ago, maybe.
Yeah. And I feel like we could
Um,
talk more about it, you know?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If you want to talk more about it, folks, I did write my full thoughts and reviews at seenthispod.com again. Gonna plug that again.
Send us
But
an
I think
email.
it's an obvious point that it'd be great if Erica was here and she could give a woman's perspective on all of this. But A, she didn't have an opportunity to see the movie, and B, she wasn't able to join for today's recording. But hopefully, once she does get a chance to watch it, we can follow up with her and see what she thought of it. That brings us to Adrian's experience at the AFI Film Fest in Hollywood. Hollywood. Uh, so you're there. What was it? Wednesday to about Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and you saw a total of
10 movies.
10 movies. So perfect. A top 10 list will be coming. But what was the experience like? Wait, this was your first film festival. What'd you think? What happened?
Um, it's intense. You don't think watching a movie can be um that exhausting. One day I think I watched 5 movies. I was there from 10 in the morning till 11 at night.
I
Uh,
think that was your last day, right?
yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it was worth it. I enjoyed the atmosphere. Toronto, I assume, would have been more. You were there, but hearing you talking to people, waiting in lines, there were no lines. They had lines set
Mm.
up here, but it was you went straight into to the theater. You sat
You
down.
did your Wayne's World backstage
Yeah,
pass.
I
Excuse
just
me.
here you
Excuse
go,
me.
and you just walk straight through. It wasn't like
Okay.
long lines. They did have a little red carpet where they had, some of the celebrities walk in, and so that those times kind of got crowded and intense. But for the most part, people kind of kept to themselves. I kind of like would eavesdrop on some people's conversations. They seemed like producers or directors of the movies, so I'd kind of like lend an ear and listen a little bit. Uh,
You didn't talk with anyone?
nah, everybody was kind of like in their own conversation, so it really
Mm.
was more of show up, watch a movie, and then break it down. And even people that I would talk to, they were there doing the same thing. They were just enjoying the
Mm.
movie, or they were friends and family of producers and stuff.
Sounds like again we're just talking about the World Series, LA and Toronto film
Different,
festival. The
yeah.
contrast between LA and Toronto, right? And I think for AFI Fest, it's all in one location,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
It's just at the Chinese theater, correct?
It is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So with Toronto, there was like I think 5 or 6 different theaters, all within like a 4 to 5 block radius, but it was spread out more so in that
It
way.
it was definitely enjoyable. But every movie they had to come out and talk about. They had like a dance competition going on up on the floor above us, so you could hear the music, you could hear stomping because they were
Related to the film fest?
yeah, at the film
Or
fest. Like so at the Chinese theater, it's like a mall. It's like a mall structure, right? Where the bottom floor is like for all these stores and food court. The second floor is some more shops, and then the third floor is where the Chinese theater is. You can go check out some artwork, the Hollywood sign, stuff like that. And then the fourth floor was for a big hall that they were having a dance competition. So it was like a kids dance competition that they're just dancing. You could hear them
yeah, so
thumping
but what I
upstairs.
was saying is that the dance competition wasn't a part of the festival. It was just
No,
happening in the building.
correct. But at the festival, before every movie, they come out and talk about, they introduce the director, the producer, whoever's there,
Right.
and let you know, hey, we're gonna do a Q&A after. Well, they would make an announcement like, hey, if you guys feel something shaking or if you hear the noise, it's the dance competition upstairs.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You would think they'd coordinate that in a way where it didn't
Yeah.
overlap,
Yeah.
but LA baby. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you got to experience that. I can relate to the sense of like it being intense, especially when you're doing like 5 movies in a day. I think I did that a day as well, and it's like, okay, do I have time to get something to eat? And whatever the case is. So I totally get that. All right. Well, you got to see 10 movies. Let's go over the movies you watched in order from, number 10 up to number 1, and give us a little insight of what the movie is about, what worked, what didn't. And then I'll try to chime in if I can, if I have any questions or whatever. But what is your number 10 movie out of AFI Film Fest?
All right. So number 10, bear with me here if I'm looking down a little bit because I do have some notes that I, went in there like a professional.
And we got some instant reactions from you as well that you can find on
Yes.
our TikTok and Instagram.
Go
Seeing
check
this
them
pod,
out.
check it out.
Full
Yeah, go
reviews
ahead, sorry.
coming.
All right, you said it on the pod. That means
yeah,
means holding you to it.
Hold me to it. I got full reviews. What is it, 400 to 600 words? I think
that'll do.
I think I'm aiming for like 350. So
an Adrian Quickie. Rosalind knows about those.
Easy.
Easy.
All right. So number 10, we'll go with Two Prosecutors. Two Prosecutors was directed by Sergei Loznitsa. This movie was set on a young prosecutor in Soviet Union during Stalin's terror in 1937. And just how he's trying to investigate corruption in like the prison, why all these politicians are being sent to prison for life, and stuff like that. It was just it had no real punchline, if that makes sense.
You mean like climax?
Yeah, I anticipated it from the very beginning. Like it seemed
it's
like
predictable,
very predictable, and very
no
little
twist,
dialogue.
no.
They are men of little words, so
okay.
It's hard when the entire movie is in a different language. You're reading subtitles. This was not hard at all because it was a total of like 10 sentences
So is most of the sound just like either like environmental or like score?
Yeah, environmental. A lot of it is just silence, and just facial expressions. It was a different movie, but like I said, there was some that I even fell asleep during one of the movies, and this one was worse than the one I fell asleep in.
Wow.
Because I sat through the whole thing and then there was no like, there's nothing like this whole story for nothing.
That sounds like my Magellan experience, which I think was also at AFI Fest,
right.
Which was like you're sticking with it, and it wasn't a foreign language. There is talk, but it's like there's no
excitement. There was no
there's just no life to it.
Right.
No spark.
Right.
Okay. Okay, two prosecutors. Number 10.
All
What do we
right.
got at number 9?
Number 9, Below the Clouds. So
Okay. Full disclosure, this is one that I wanted to see at TIFF and I didn't. So I said, "Hey, check it out. Let me know what you think."
this is the one I fell asleep in.
Okay.
It's so Below the Clouds, directed by Gianfranco Rossi. It's about the city of Naples after Vesuvius and multiple earthquakes and stuff like that
It's a
happened.
documentary,
It's a
correct?
documentary.
Yeah.
Not so much a documentary, more so just like pictures and videos describing a city, but not really an event, a specific event.
Okay.
It's just more showing. So the director came up and spoke before the viewing or before the screening, and that was like his main concept. Like, I just wanted to express the depth of the city Naples and the different types of characters that are in it and stuff like that. And I honestly stayed in there for 45 minutes. I fell asleep after about 20 minutes. And then when I woke up, I looked around and realized it was the same kind of scenes still happening. Like, I hadn't really missed anything. So I kind of got up and walked out at that point because I didn't want to go back to sleep. But it's just cultural shots, Tomb Raiders, some of the cops going through tunnels, seeing like, hey, somebody's been here before. They raided the tombs of these, frozen bodies, stuff like that. But
maybe something to have on at home after a Sunday after football, and you want to fall asleep on the cat. Like,
sure,
more visually.
Yeah, it was like a History Channel type movie,
Okay, fair enough. Number 8. I hope that's the only one you fell asleep in.
That's the only one I fell asleep in.
Okay.
I stuck out all the others. So this one, Continental 25, started out with potential.
Okay.
It did. It had a comedic factor to it. It was followed kind of like a homeless man, and he's all the comedy. This homeless guy just walking around, and he's staying in somebody's basement, and this lady has to come and evict him out of this basement. She's pretty much allowed him to stay there, but has to come and, hey, you got to go. He has nowhere to go. So she kind of believes him and lets him do his thing. Like, pack up your stuff, you'll leave, and I'll be back in 20 minutes. And he hangs himself. So then the whole movie is just her.
Spoiler alert.
The whole movie is her coming to grips with it, expressing how she's dealing with this trauma.
So it's not a comedy.
No.
Okay, because you mentioned he's like the only comedy of it, but you mean that as far as like he's funny until he's gone and then it gets serious.
Yeah, it's his person, like him as a person is cursing things out. He's like a funny homeless guy. Like, I could relate to this guy.
Sure.
He's just going through, he just has a life.
And just for clarity, it says that it takes place in Transylvania.
Transylvania, okay. Europe.
Yeah, and the language is Romanian, if I'm not mistaken.
That's why I thought it was French. Romanian.
Yeah, all good. Cluj, the main city of Transylvania.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So overall, it was just very redundant. It's just her going over her trauma with different people. The same trauma just kind of gets exaggerated every time she tells it. So it just kind of lost its flavor with me. It could have been a 30-minute movie and it would have been perfect. But they kept dragging it on, and then it just kind of got redundant.
Got it. All right. Well, that's Continental 25. That brings us to number 7.
Number 7, Divine Comedy. This one was interesting. It was directed by Ali Asghari. I believe this one takes place in Iran. It's a Turkish film. The problem I had with it was that I'm reading subtitles the entire time, but I did notice that they're switching from Farsi to Turkish. And it's all based off of like the politics of him trying to get this movie screened or shown.
This movie,
So
like the one,
the movie, everybody in the movie plays themselves. So it's
Uh-huh.
like an exaggeration of what really happened, of him trying to get his movie viewed or get his movie screened.
A different movie.
No, it's this movie. So it's like the movie inside the movie. Like,
Okay.
so
Okay.
he's trying to write a movie and get it screened in his own language of Turkish in Iran. And the problem is the politics where they're like, you can do a movie, you just can't speak that language. So the entire time he's like going back and forth between his native tongue and the language that they want him to speak.
I see.
And I had a hard time distinguishing when they were bouncing back and forth, because you're just reading subtitles and in parentheses it'll say Turkish or in parentheses it'll say Farsi. So I didn't get the intent, I think, of what they're trying to aim for with the silliness of having to go back and forth between two different languages.
And this and it's called Divine Comedy,
Yes.
and it is a comedy?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like an exaggeration of the nonsense and absurdity that he has to go through to get his movie screened.
Almost like a bit of a satire.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Divine Comedy number 7. Number 6.
Number 6, H is for Hawk. This I thought
think now we turn a corner.
I think we do.
Right?
H is for Hawk, I thought was a documentary, but it wasn't. It was an actual full-length movie. It pretty much circles a father-daughter relationship. She's a grown adult, and then he passes away, and how she deals, or lack of dealing, where she just kind of needs a distraction and separate. And in that, it's a hawk. She wants to raise the toughest hawks there are for sport, right? So they go hunting with these hawks, and she would do it with her father as a child. And then now that he passed away, she starts getting into hawks again, and she's like, I want the ones that are the most athletic, but they're also the worst to deal with. Like they are the most demanding.
Difficult hawks.
They're difficult to maintain and, care for. And the whole movie is her balancing whether she's sticking with her being a professor and like going to school, but at the same time she's dealing with this trauma of losing her father, and at the same time she has this troubled bird that she has to take care of, and that's her distraction from everything. So is it really healing her, or is it just a distraction that she's getting lost in? I dug it. I want a hawk for a pet. I would love to go hunting with one.
Bro, you've got enough birds already. How many chickens we at?
I do.
How many chickens we got?
We got 3 chickens, 2 dogs, enough animals. But
3 kids.
A hawk would be cool. A hawk would definitely be cool.
Sounds interesting.
It is definitely interesting.
Sounds different. It sounds different. Like it's a feel good deal with trauma, like how to move forward
Definitely
after
not feel
the death
good.
of a parent.
Definitely not feel good. There's no real feel good in it. But it is real. It's emotional. You do feel for her, and the hawk is freaking awesome.
All right. Number 5.
Cover Up. Okay. So now we're getting into very intense, very important type movies. The Cover Up was a documentary based off of all of, I guess, 3 different events that the U.S. tried to cover up, and the specific reporter that goes out and tries to do the hard work, the digging to uncover these cover-ups, and whether it's actual, whether he would give up his sources, stuff like that. It was a very well done documentary that kept me engaged the whole time, and in a weird way, like, I expected it, and so I wasn't upset at the government, and
you weren't
lies.
shocked that they were doing what they were doing,
right.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an important movie. It's interesting. It kind of tiptoed the line between, is this all about the conspiracies and the cover-ups, or is this about the reporter and how the reporter's ego kind of can be in the way?
Interesting.
So it was
And does that provide a clear perspective of what you should feel, or is it kind of like we're saying after the hunt? It's left open for the viewer to interpret, or does it kind of guide
it
one way or
kind of
the other?
guides one way because
Okay.
you do feel like you're on the reporter side.
Okay.
And for me, I would respect that he was like, I'm not giving up my sources.
Yeah.
Even to this documentary, even the ones that are dead, like he has a hard time naming them, saying like
So they show like historical footage during these cover up times, but they're also talking with the journalist
now. So
like now.
he was like in his 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s doing this journalism, and now he's in his 60s or 70s, and he's an old
Right.
man still doing it, but he's reminiscing on these past cases.
Sure. Sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm very interested to see what you say about your number 4.
Man, I wish I had more notes for this one. Palestine 36. Very, very good movie. The director came out and spoke about it, and the struggles. They did a Q&A with her. The struggles just to have this movie made is insane. This is a little bit of a miracle that this movie was even screened, even completed. It's a movie about Iraq, made by no, not Iraq. Iran?
Yeah, what do you mean? It's called Palestine 36,
Palestine.
brother.
Israel. Sorry. All these ones with the I. So I went in ignorant because
energy in Jerusalem.
yes.
Right? I think you mentioned in your instant reaction that it's taking place in restless Jerusalem during kind of the relocation of
The Jews
the
coming back
Jewish
in.
people.
Yes. So it's
and
during
claiming territory.
1936 when they're fighting for their independence from Britain, and at the same time the British are saying like, hey, you guys need to share this land with the Jews because we have nowhere to place them.
And the director is Anne-Marie Jasser. She I think with this film Palestine 36, there's also the voice of Hind Rajab, which is one I saw at TIFF, but was also there at AFI Fest. And also a documentary, Put Your Soul on Your Hand and Walk, is another one that is about Palestine. And I think they're all incredibly
Powerful,
relevant, powerful, intimate, educational.
So this one was filmed in Palestine. It was filmed in Jerusalem during the current genocide, during all this stuff that's going on. It was an 8-year process for her to get this movie filmed and taken care of. And in that process, like it almost got shut down multiple times because 1, she's a woman. 2, the topics it's discussing, and 3, that they're trying to film it during in that place where the conflict is actually happening.
Right.
So it was definitely powerful for me to understand a
Yeah.
little bit more of what's going on there and why there's a constant struggle when, hey, can't we all just get along and share this land? Like, what's the problem? So
provided it shed some light on
absolutely
some of the origins, or at least
absolutely of why this land is divided.
Yeah. Definitely on my list, one that I want to see when I have the opportunity to. Glad you got to see it. Number 3.
The Chronology of Water. This is Kristen Stewart's movie. She directed it. It's definitely a heavy movie. Definitely triggering. It follows the main character, a woman sexually abused by her father all her life, and trying to create herself a little family of her own. Very intense, very emotional. Help me, Mikey. What is the main actress's name?
You have Imogen
No,
Poots?
Imogen.
Or Imogen, sorry.
Yeah.
That plays Lydia. Or are you referring to Thora Birch?
No. Imogen.
Her?
Yeah, she is. Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
Like great performance, or what she has to endure.
enormously wonderful performance. Like I could watch her portray, even though it was very heavy, she portrays it like if she went through these incidents, like it happened to her.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've seen a few of her movies. She was in 28 Weeks Later. She was in The Father, the 2020 film. That was really good as well. Vivarium, V for Vendetta. Erica will appreciate
She
that.
is stupendous. Let me tell you,
Okay.
if I could take stock, I would take her stock because she is probably the best actress.
Of the festival, you'd take her stock.
I want to say she's the best actress I've seen ever.
Wow.
Yes. Watch this. Her performance is the best I've seen out of any actress.
Wow. What
She
a
was
glowing review.
Yes. Definitely check her out. This movie, just go in there warned that it is a triggering movie. It is heavy. But it is good, and it's telling a good story, a story that needs to be told.
And FYI, you have it on your watch list on Letterboxd. You got to rate it on there. Anyways,
I do. I got to update things.
Number 2,
Yes.
Spoiler
Number
alert.
2
Number 2
will be Silent Friend.
Okay.
This was kind of a blend between a documentary and a movie. Very, very interesting. It revolves around a science project. These are like scientists during COVID. They take it blends 3 stories.
I see. It's blending 3 stories from 3 different time periods as well.
3 different
COVID being
generations.
one of them.
COVID being one of them, where it kind of the basis of the actual science experiment. So pretty much, there's a scientist and he measures brain activity with babies. So he has all these devices that he's measuring their brains, and somewhere along the lines, there's a solitary tree. Fun fact, it's the same trees that are here in Laverne that drop these fruits every year, and they smell like vomit.
The one that smell like ass, yeah.
So
yeah.
She explains that they're females. And so there's a whole science to it that they normally don't plant females around people because they drop these fruits that smell like
Laverne
vomit.
didn't give a fuck.
Right. They didn't actually reach out to arborists or professionals to find out.
Yeah.
So
what's new?
So he comes across this one tree and comes up with the notion that he could hook up his devices to it and see how they react to us, not just how we react to the plants, to trees, to living creatures that are rooted into the ground. They do respond. They do react. They correlate with us. They recognize us. They interact with us. And it was very interesting to see that experiment, how they both kind of get rained on, and how the machine picks up the brain activity with the tree activity. And then some of the previous generations, they have like their own science experiment with a different plant, a geranium, and how it recognizes them. It's hooked up to like a lie detector, and this kid, every time he walks in or feeds the plant, sees the lie detector moving, and he ends up doing like his own tests with them, like, can this plant see me from the window and trigger the gate to open? And sure enough, he walks up and the gate opens. The plant sees him and wants him to come in and feed it. It was very interesting. A trip of a movie.
Were the mushrooms still working by the end of it, or what?
No, I was good. It was definitely no need for psychedelics, but if you did, I can see like it would make sense. It's still powerful.
We're gonna see you out front of Bonita High with some equipment, doing your own experiments now.
Ginkgoba or something like that. Ginkgoba tree. Yeah, but it's good. That was a fun movie. I enjoyed it more just for the science aspect and the notion that, everything is related, and it hit me like, oh wow, this is cool.
Added it to my watch list. Number 1 from AFI Film Fest.
This was my number 1. Rebuilding. It was.
And you saw this. Like, was it the first day or second day?
I think it was the second day. This
Okay.
was one that I wanted to see just based off of like the summaries. I felt like I was going after movies that I thought may have some importance, right? Like Palestine
Mm,
36. I went in not knowing this conflict. I wanted something that were impactful, that were meaningful to the times,
mm,
to something like to help me understand what's going on in the world right now.
yeah.
And this movie Rebuilding was not any of that. That was just a pure it struck
Narrative film.
it hit me where, oh, this sounds like a recovery, legit. It's about rebuilding and how you not give up when the world is just stomping on you and you lose everything. You still have something to
Like a
gain.
modern day Job story or something like that, like from the Bible,
Sure,
right? Like this
sure.
is just you lose everything, and how do you
So this is all
rebuild?
about
Kind of like you said.
like a cowboy and his farm burns down like to a crisp. So whatever survives, he has to sell, like his livestock, stuff like that. So I think it comes up with he's trying to in this loss, he's rekindling a relationship with his 7-year-old daughter, 8-year-old daughter, um,
Mm,
and his ex-wife is already remarried. But in all this loss, he's finding comfort and solace in his daughter and in this um community that they've kind of placed them in. So FEMA comes out and puts them in trailers on this land with other people that has suffered the same loss,
yeah.
and how he creates that community with them and rebuilds hope. So it was touching. It was just a guilty pleasure for me, um, just because
Big softy.
big softy, dude. It was tugging at my heartstrings the whole time. Like, man, this sucks. Like losing everything in
Yeah.
a fire, and you just have to take it on the chin and keep moving.
Directed by Max Walker Silverman, and the cowboy you're referring to is played by Josh O'Connor,
Yeah,
who is has a lot of big hits coming out, or has come out in the past couple years. Probably most
and he
notably
did really good.
Challengers. Uh, and he's, yeah. I think if we get to draft him for stock, I think he'd be a good choice as well. Awesome. So recap: number 10, Two Prosecutors; number 9, Below the Clouds; number 8, Continental 25; number 7, Divine Comedy; number 6, H is for Hawk; number 5, Cover Up; number 4, Palestine 36; number 3, The Chronology of Water; number 2, Silent Friend. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I don't know why I thought it was a different title. Number 1, Rebuilding. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you got to go check that out. I'm really hoping, coming into the new year and the festival season starts again, maybe the three of us can figure out a way to go to TIFF or go to Telluride or go to South by Southwest. Just figure out how we can continue to cover some film festivals, because honestly, I think a lot of the movies even you mentioned, you probably wouldn't see, the majority of people probably wouldn't see unless it was at the film
Right.
festival. Like, you know what I mean? And I think those are oftentimes some of the better movies.
How can we even find them? If they're not even being shown.
That's what we're here for. We'll try to give you a heads up of what to watch and what to seek out. Just a couple movies, just to recap. I did see them at TIFF, but they were also at the Film Fest. Bad Apples, Dead Man's Wire, which is coming out in January. I really recommend that one. Magellan, like I said, didn't work for me. The Currents, really great performances. I think I want to watch it again. It is a little slow, but I think I want to watch it again. A lot of metaphor in it. Eagles of the Republic, Tariq Saleh, shout out to the director. He talked to me, as well as lead actor Faris Faris. Interview is on YouTube. And then The Voice of Hind Rajab, which is the tragic story of the little Palestinian girl that was shot beyond just beyond necessary. I mean, it's not even necessary one bullet, but I think she was shot over like 100 times in a car. It's not really a spoiler because that's the story, but it is making its rounds, and I'm hoping it gets wide distribution. Everyone needs to see that one. But a couple movies that were also at AFI Fest, just to wrap up, that I saw for the first time recently this last week. One was Begonia. That is the film with Emma Stone. Jesse Plemons, Yorgos Lanthimos' newest film about conspiracy theory, aliens, and who to trust. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite of Yorgos's. There's certain decisions made with certain characters that I didn't think were necessary. They do have an actor who is neurodivergent on the spectrum, and he does a great job. But the character itself, I don't think was treated correctly as far as his role in the movie. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Outside of that, it's a good movie. You should check it out. And then lastly, just had a conversation with the director, Manoush Alia, for 1001 Frames. Wow. One of a kind movie. It's got horror elements, and when I spoke with her, she did say that she did want to go with horror, but what's more scary than like a real life villain or evil? You know what I mean? And this is essentially looking at the audition process for several actresses doing an audition one-on-one with the director, who is behind the camera and having them do things they're not comfortable with and come off very questionable. And just the way it's executed has you engaged the whole time. You don't know what's going to happen next, and you don't know how it's going to end. And when it does end, it's just as powerful as the whole story itself. So 1001 Frames, that interview will be coming out Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. And with that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All of our socials, Instagram, Blue Sky, Letterboxd. You can find a TikTok. You can find us on Seen This Pod. You can also email us, seenthisemail@gmail.com. Holy smokes, I haven't done this in a while. seenthisemail@gmail.com. And you can get everything at our website, seenthispod.com. Like I mentioned, Erica will be back for our next episode next week, where we will be talking Frankenstein, now available on Netflix. So check it out, and then come back and listen to hear what we have to say about it. Let us know how you feel about it. And until then, stay safe.
Peace.